Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we're going to explore the night everything changes. Tuna collapses with a burning fever. Henry cries out for his mom. And Alex, the man who can control any boardroom, is forced to face the one thing he can't control: protecting the family he loves. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. The living room was silent except for the clock. Tick, tick, tick. It sounded louder than it should, like it was pushing Tuna forward when her body was begging her to stop. She sat on the sofa with her palm pressed to her forehead, breathing in short, careful pulls of air. Heat climbed through her chest and throat, and sweat gathered at her hairline. The corners of the room blurred, then steadied, then blurred again. From the crib came Henry's cry, small but urgent. "Mama! Mama! I'm coming!" Tuna whispered. She tried to stand. Her knees buckled the moment she put weight on them. She grabbed the armrest, took one shaky step, and then her legs simply gave out. The floor rushed up. She hit the rug hard, pain flashing through her shoulder. But even that couldn't cut through the fever. Henry's cry sharpened into panic. "Mama!" Tuna reached toward him, but her arm felt heavy, slow, wrong. She tried to pull herself forward and couldn't. The heat inside her body kept rising, swallowing her thoughts until all she could do was lie there and listen to her baby call for her. The front door opened. Alex stepped in, suit still crisp, tie loosened, phone in his hand as if he'd been answering work calls all the way home. He froze the second he saw her on the floor. "Tuna?" His briefcase slipped from his fingers and hit the tiles. He dropped to his knees beside her, pressing his palm to her cheek. He recoiled at the burning temperature. "Hey, talk to me. What happened?" Tuna's lips moved, but nothing came out. Her eyes were half open, unfocused. Henry's wailing filled the room, loud enough to make Alex's chest tighten. He looked from the crib to Tuna and back again, and the usual confidence on his face vanished. There was no meeting to fix, no contract to sign, just a woman on the floor and a baby crying for her. "Okay," Alex said, forcing steadiness into his voice. "I've got you." He lifted Henry first because the crying was relentless and the baby was shaking with it, then slid one arm under Tuna's back and the other under her knees. Her head fell against his shoulder. She was too hot through his shirt, too light in his arms. He carried them to the bedroom, moving carefully, not trusting his own feet. The dim bedside lamp washed Tuna's face in a soft gold that made her look even paler. He laid her on the bed and pulled the blanket up. His hand went straight to her forehead again. "Too hot," he muttered. Henry was still hiccuping with tears. Alex bounced him clumsily, whispering, "Shh, it's okay. Daddy's here." The word came out before he could think about it. Strange, but necessary. He grabbed his phone and called a doctor. While he waited, he checked Tuna's breathing, wiped sweat from her temple, and tried not to let fear take over. He'd dealt with pressure his whole life, but this was different. This was personal. This was fragile. The doctor arrived, moved quickly, and spoke plainly. "High fever. She needs medicine, fluids, and complete rest. Someone has to monitor her. If it spikes again or she can't keep water down, call me immediately." Alex nodded once. "I'll do it." "Do you have anyone to help?" the doctor asked. Alex looked at Henry, finally quiet in his arms, then at Tuna, asleep but still breathing hard. "No," he said, "it's just me." When the doctor left, the house felt too empty. Alex stood in the hallway holding the prescription, listening to the clock again. Then his phone started buzzing. Assistant, partners, office. He stared at the screen for 1 second and shut it off. No hesitation. Back in the bedroom, he brushed damp hair from Tuna's forehead and saw details he'd ignored before. The tired shadows under her eyes, the dryness at the corners of her lips, the way her hand rested limply on the sheet. She didn't look like the woman who always moved, always managed, always made it work. "You've been carrying everything," he whispered, almost angry at himself. And I didn't see it. Henry stirred and made a soft complaining sound, searching for his mother. Alex lifted him gently. "Mummy's sick," he murmured. "So it's you and me tonight." He walked into the kitchen and flicked on the fluorescent light. The counters were cluttered with the small, practical world. Tuna ran every day: rice, bottles, herbs, a stack of clean cloths. Alex stared at it like it belonged to someone else. He searched his phone for congee. Rice, water, time, simple. 10 minutes later, rice was scattered across the counter, and the pot was already too hot because Alex turned the flame high without thinking. He washed the rice because the recipe said so, poured water, and waited like waiting could fix his nerves. Henry started crying again. Alex cursed under his breath, scooped the baby up with one arm, and tried to make a bottle with the other. Powder spilled. Hot water splashed. He hissed, shook his fingers, and tried to keep his voice calm anyway. Hey, we're okay," he told Henry, even though he wasn't sure it was true. The bottle finally warmed. Henry latched and drank, his cries fading into soft gulps. Alex exhaled for the first time in what felt like hours. Then he smelled burning. The congee was foaming up, bubbling over the pot, and hissing onto the burner. Alex rushed over, Henry still against his shoulder, and twisted the knob down. Too late. The smoke alarm shrieked. The sound cut through the house like a knife. Alex shut off the stove, flung open the window, and waved a dish towel wildly. Cold air flooded in, bringing the sharp smell of burnt rice and night wind. Henry startled and began crying again, furious and confused. Alex stood there, staring at the mess-spilled porridge, powdered formula dusting the counter, his own hands shaking. He glanced toward the bedroom door. Tuna had done this. Not once, not as a romantic gesture. Every day, feeding Henry, cooking, cleaning, soothing, waking up, starting again, alone. The realization hit him harder than the smoke. He sank down onto the kitchen floor with Henry pressed to his chest. The alarm went silent, leaving only the ticking clock again and Henry's soft, hungry sounds. "I'm sorry," Alex whispered into the darkness, voice breaking. "I didn't understand." Henry finished the bottle and sighed, warm and heavy with sleep. Alex held him tighter, rocking slowly, listening to the baby's breathing settle. In the bedroom, Tuna slept on, feverish but quiet. And on the kitchen floor, Alex finally understood what love looked like when nobody was watching. Clumsy hands, burnt rice, a crying child, and staying anyway. He got up carefully, not wanting to wake Henry, and carried him back to the bedroom. Tuna's face was still flushed, eyelashes damp against her cheeks. Alex placed a cool cloth on her forehead the way the doctor showed him, then measured out the next dose of medicine and set it on the nightstand like a reminder he couldn't ignore. He stood there for a long moment, watching her breathe, and felt his throat tighten. Back in the living room, he settled onto the sofa, with Henry asleep on his chest. The house was messy, the kitchen smelled faintly burnt, and tomorrow was already waiting, but for the first time, Alex wasn't thinking about tomorrow's schedule. He was listening to the tiny heartbeat under his palm and making himself a promise. Tuna would never be alone in this again. Henry's cry ripped through the house again, sharp and sudden, like a siren that refused to stop until someone answered. Alex jolted awake on the sofa, disoriented for half a second, then reality slammed back into place. Tuna was sick. Henry needed someone, and that someone was him. Okay, I'm coming," Alex whispered, already moving. He rushed into the nursery, scooped Henry up, and felt the baby's tiny body trembling with frustration. Henry's hands reached out blindly, searching for the one comfort he always found: his mother. Mama. Alex's chest tightened. "She's resting, little man," he murmured. "Mummy's resting. I've got you." Henry didn't care. He screamed harder. Alex bounced him, patting his back the way he'd seen Tuna do 1,000 times. His own movements were awkward, too stiff, too unsure. He checked the crib, then the baby's clothes, Then the smell that told him what he already suspected. Diaper. Alex swallowed. "All right," he muttered, like he was about to walk into a meeting he'd never prepared for. He laid Henry down, ripped open the diaper tabs, and froze for a second at the mess. Not because it was shocking he was a grown man, but because it was suddenly real. This was the part of life nobody applauded. This was the part Tuna had done, alone, over and over. "Don't panic," Alex told himself under his breath. He cleaned Henry carefully, hands trembling just enough to make the wipes crinkle loudly. Henry kicked and screamed like his entire world was ending. Alex fumbled the new diaper, put it on crooked, corrected it, fastened it too loose, fixed it again. "Please," he whispered, half pleading with the baby. "Help me out here," Henry answered with another furious wail. Alex lifted him and paced the room, whispering anything that might work. "Shh, it's okay. Daddy's here. Mummy's sleeping. It's all right." The word daddy still felt strange on his tongue, but each time he said it, it felt less like pretending and more like stepping into the truth. Henry's cries didn't stop immediately. They came in waves, sharp and desperate. Alex kept walking, rocking, humming a tune he didn't know. He remembered something soft and repetitive, like a lullaby built from instinct. And then, slowly, Henry's body loosened. The baby's fists unclenched. The crying faded into sniffles, then into little hiccup breaths. Henry's head dropped onto Alex's shoulder, warm and heavy. Alex stopped pacing. He sat in the armchair near the window, holding Henry close, afraid that if he moved wrong, the crying would start again. In the dim moonlight, Henry's lashes rested on his cheeks, and his tiny breaths brushed Alex's neck. Alex stared out at the dark street, and the exhaustion hit him like a wall. His back hurt, his head throbbed. His suit shirt was wrinkled and damp with sweat. But the pain that cut deepest wasn't physical. It was the sudden, crushing question: how many nights had Tuna done this alone? How many times had she paced a room with a crying baby while her body begged for sleep? How many times had she swallowed her own fear just to keep Henry calm? How many times had she stared into darkness and wished anyone would take half the weight for 1 hour? Alex's throat tightened. His eyes burned. He didn't wipe the tears away when they fell. He just bowed his head and pressed a soft kiss to Henry's forehead. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm so sorry I didn't see it sooner." That night, he didn't truly sleep again. He dozed in fragments, waking at every small sound, checking the bedroom door, listening for Tuna's breathing, watching Henry's chest rise and fall like it was the most important report he'd ever monitored. Morning came quietly, not with a dramatic sunrise, but with soft light slipping through the curtains and settling on the floor. Alex moved like a man learning a new world. He warmed a bottle. He measured medicine. He replaced the cool cloth on Tuna's forehead. He checked her temperature like the doctor instructed, the number making his stomach twist each time, until finally it began to drop. In the kitchen, he tried congee again. This time he lowered the flame. He stirred slowly. He didn't leave the pot unattended. When it thickened to the right texture, he actually exhaled like he'd won something. Henry gurgled from his high chair, banging a spoon against the tray like applause. Alex laughed, tired, but real. "You're making fun of me," he told Henry. "I know you are," Henry answered with a delighted squeal. The following days fell into a rhythm Alex never would have recognized as his life. He rose at dawn. He washed bottles. He cleaned spilled food. He folded laundry with clumsy hands. He wiped counters. He learned which cry meant hunger, and which cry meant discomfort, and which cry simply meant Henry wanted to be held. He carried Henry to the balcony and let the baby stare at sunlight and swaying leaves. Alex made up songs on the spot, half silly, half tender. Henry would kick his legs and giggle, and Alex would feel something inside him soften in a way no boardroom victory had ever managed. Every few hours, he checked on Tuna. When she slept, he sat beside her and held her hand lightly, careful not to wake her. He noticed details he'd missed for too long: the roughness of her fingertips from work, the small scars, the way her face looked younger when she wasn't forcing strength. One afternoon, sitting there while Tuna slept, Alex whispered, "I'm sorry for not seeing it, for making you carry everything." His voice shook. "I'm here now. I'm staying." Tuna didn't answer. She was still asleep, but the words still mattered because he needed to say them to the air, to himself, to the past. Henry crawled into the room later, grabbing Alex's pant leg and grinning wide, toothless and proud as if he'd found his person. Alex lifted him easily now, like it wasn't foreign anymore. Days passed. The fever broke. The heat in Tuna's skin faded. Her breathing softened. Color returned to her cheeks in small steps. Then, one morning, sunlight brushed her eyelids, and she stirred. The heaviness was still there, but the crushing, feverish weight had lifted. She blinked slowly, confused by how quiet her body felt. From the living room, she heard Henry's giggles, bright, free, and Alex's low voice answering him gently. "Easy, little man. Don't rush. Mommy's about to wake up." Tuna lay still, just listening. The sounds were so ordinary, yet they felt like something she'd never dared to imagine. Her baby laughing with someone else, safely cared for, while she rested without guilt. She pushed herself upright, arms trembling slightly, and walked to the doorway. What she saw made her breath catch. Alex sat cross-legged on the rug, making ridiculous faces. Henry crawled in circles around him, shrieking with laughter whenever Alex pretended to be a monster, then squealing again when Alex lost and fell backward dramatically. Alex looked up and their eyes met. For a second, everything froze. Alex rose quickly, scooped Henry up, and walked toward her like he was afraid she'd disappear again. "You're awake," he said, voice catching. His eyes glistened, and he didn't bother hiding it. Tuna reached out and touched his cheek lightly, like she needed proof he was real. Henry lunged toward her, wiggling, making happy little sounds. She held him, tears spilling instantly, not from pain, from shock, from gratitude, from the way her heart cracked open at the sight of Alex, this man who used to feel distant from the smallest daily struggles, now living inside them with full devotion. "Thank you," Tuna whispered, voice breaking. Alex shook his head, pulling her and Henry into his arms. "Don't thank me," he murmured. "I should have been doing this from the beginning." The day unfolded gently. Tuna stayed in bed, propped against pillows, still weak but smiling for real. Alex brought her food on a tray congee that didn't burn, steamed vegetables, and a glass of orange juice. He placed it carefully beside her, like it was something sacred. Henry sat between them, gripping a plastic spoon and attempting to eat like an adult. Most of the porridge landed on his shirt, his chin, and the blanket. Alex laughed loudly, wiped Henry's face, and pretended to be offended. "You're making a disaster," he told the baby. "Just like your mother." Tuna laughed too, the sound soft but full. "Hey," she protested weakly. Alex glanced at her, smile fading into something gentler. "You're back," he said quietly. Tuna looked at him for a long moment, then reached for his hand and squeezed it. Words felt too small, but she tried anyway. "From now on," she whispered, "together, okay?" Alex's eyes shone. He nodded once, firm. "Together." He lifted Henry and placed him carefully into Tuna's lap. She held the baby close, breathing him in like medicine. Alex slid onto the bed beside them and draped an arm around her shoulders, pulling her head against him. Outside, leaves swayed in a light breeze. Inside, the house felt different, less like a place where one person endured everything, and more like a home where love showed up in the smallest act. Henry yawned, eyelids drooping, then fell asleep against Tuna's chest. She looked at Alex, still emotional, still tired, but steadier than she'd felt in a long time. Alex smiled back, quiet and warm. They both understood something without needing to say it. Challenges would come again. Illness, pressure, exhaustion. Life wouldn't stop testing them, but they would no longer face it alone. Tuna, is struck by a sudden intense fever and collapses while Henry cries for her from his crib. Alex arrives home from work, panics at the sight, and rushes into action, carrying Tuna to bed, calling a doctor and taking over as caregiver. When the doctor insists she needs complete rest and constant monitoring, Alex silences his ringing phone and chooses family over business. Alone in the night, he struggles through feeding bottles, cooking congee, and changing diapers as Henry wakes repeatedly, crying for his mother. Exhausted, Alex realizes how many nights Tuna endured alone and feels deep regret for not noticing her silent burdens sooner. Over the next days, he learns the routine, cares for Henry, and tends to Tuna's recovery with steady devotion. When Tuna finally wakes, she is moved by Alex's transformation, and they promise to face everything together from now on.